Can I ask you this? Let me ask you a question. Okay, how come when I come up places, they want to ask me these questions, but they don't never ask her?
Lil Kim isn't holding back anymore. After years of staying quiet, she's finally speaking on everything. Her complicated ties with Jay-Z, the betrayal she felt from Foxy Brown, and her history with Diddy. But it's her raw truth about Biggie that really hits deep. From being manipulated behind the scenes to being pushed out of her own spotlight, Kim is exposing the way the industry used her, silenced her, and left her to fight on her own. She's naming names, and the picture she paints, it's not pretty. What she shares about Biggie's influence over her, Jay-Z's role in her career, and how Diddy allegedly turned his back on her is enough to make anyone question everything they thought they knew about hip-hop's golden era. But to really get why Lil Kim is unloading all of this now, we have to rewind back to a time when she was just a teenage girl with a dream, and how that dream got swallowed up by fame, love, and a feud that changed her forever.
Everybody who knows music knows damn well in that Puffy record she was coming at me. I didn't say nothing about this chick. I didn't say nothing about this chick at this time. She was coming at me in the Puffy record. She was coming at me in all these records that she was doing, the Jay and Kanye records. I didn't say nothing.
Lil Kim and Foxy Brown didn't start out as enemies. In fact, their paths were nearly identical. Both came up in Brooklyn, both were discovered as teenagers, and both exploded onto the rap scene in the mid-90s with unmatched energy, raw lyrics, and fashion that turned heads. For a while, they were even seen as the female faces of hardcore hip-hop, each tied to legendary male groups, Kim with Junior MFIA and Big, Foxy with The Firm and Nas. At first, they were cool. There were even talks of them working together. A lot of people forget this, but back in 1997, there was serious buzz around a joint album called Thelma and Louise. That project could be massive. It was supposed to unite two of the hottest female rappers at the time, showing unity and power. But that album never happened, and what started as creative differences quickly turned personal. Then came the drama around album covers. Kim dropped hardcore with that now classic pose in lingerie. Months later, Foxy's Il Na 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 dropped with a similarly provocative look. People in the industry and fans also started comparing them. Not just the music, but the style, the clothes. According to Kim, that's when things shifted. She felt like Foxy was biting her image, trying to one-up her in every way. And once those comparisons got louder, the friendship fell apart. It didn't take long for the beef to get physical. One of the worst moments came in 2001 outside Hot 97 in Manhattan. Kim's entourage got into a shootout with Capone and Norega affiliates who were connected to Foxy at the time. One man was shot, and Kim later got caught up in perjury charges for lying about her role in the incident. She eventually served time for that. That moment took things way past music. It was no longer just competition, it was dangerous. Looking back, Kim has said the whole feud was fueled by outsiders, including record execs and male rappers who stood to benefit from keeping them divided. That failed album? That was just the first opportunity ruined by ego and behind-the-scenes manipulation. Kim didn't name names at first, but years later, one name kept popping up as someone who could have stopped it all but chose not to: Jay-Z.
I was getting ready to be partners with them. While I was over there, we were working a lot. Like, I was in Miami and he put me in the studio. I would be in New York and we would be working. We were constantly talking.
Jay-Z and Lil Kim weren't just industry peers, they were involved romantically. Kim has admitted there was a real relationship there, but it wasn't what fans thought. According to her, Jay-Z kept things quiet, avoided going public, and when things got messy, especially with the Foxy Brown feud, he stayed silent. Now, here's where things get deeper. Foxy Brown was once linked to Jay-Z too. Kim believed Jay played both sides. During the height of her beef with Foxy, Jay didn't speak up, not to back Kim, not to stop the madness. His silence said everything. She felt abandoned, like he cared more about keeping his image clean than protecting her. But it didn't end there. When Kim was facing prison time in 2005, she expected her industry friends, especially someone as close as Jay, to step up, maybe make a statement or offer some help. He didn't. No public support, no visits, no shout-outs, just silence. Kim has said that hurt her more than anything. She felt erased during one of the hardest times in her life. On top of that, she now says their relationship was never equal. Jay had the power, and he used it to keep her in line, whether it was decisions about music, image, or who she associated with. She wasn't just his girl, she was a pawn in a much bigger game. Kim felt emotionally manipulated, especially when she realized how easily he distanced himself when things got inconvenient. For years, she kept these details private. But now Kim says she's tired of protecting people who never protected her. And while Jay-Z's name still holds weight in the industry, for Kim, it represents a part of her past where love and betrayal came hand in hand. But Jay-Z wasn't the only one. There was someone even closer to Kim, someone who helped build her career from day one and later stood by while she crumbled, a man who profited off her pain while playing the role of mentor and protector, Diddy.
But I personally think they didn't want me to stand beside her, which is stupid.
When Lil Kim talks about the music industry now, it's not with starry eyes. According to her, it was never just about talent. It was about power and control. And she says that people like Diddy helped create an environment where young women were molded, used, and tossed aside when they no longer served a purpose. Kim doesn't mince words when she talks about how the industry treated her during her legal battles. When she was facing perjury charges and eventually went to prison, she remembers how quiet the people around her got. A lot of folks who smiled in her face suddenly disappeared. Kim described them as unloyal people who had no problem standing next to her when the lights were on, but vanished when things got dark. And Diddy? She's made it clear that while he presented himself as a supporter, he was part of the same machine that failed her. Kim has said that the industry, including people like Diddy, wanted to control the image of a female rapper. She was praised when she was sexy, provocative, and shocking, but if anyone else tried to follow her lead, Diddy allegedly discouraged it. Kim once said Diddy would go around telling people, "Don't copy Kim." Instead of uplifting others who were inspired by her, the message was, there can only be one. That kind of attitude kept women divided and gave men even more control. The praise Kim got came with conditions. If she played by their rules, she could shine. But the minute she pushed back or wanted to move differently, that support dried up. Kim has talked about how exhausting it was to be constantly judged by how she looked, how she spoke, what she wore. And all the while, men like Diddy sat at the top, benefiting from the chaos and competition they helped create. She never forgot how alone she felt during the hardest parts of her career. After years of loyalty, she says the people who claimed to have her back were nowhere to be found. Diddy didn't publicly defend her, didn't rally the industry, and certainly didn't use his power to protect her. And for Kim, that silence was loud, but before all the silence, the betrayal, and the prison time, there was Biggie, Christopher Wallace. The Notorious B.I.G. He was the one who first saw something special in Lil Kim, when she was still just Kimberly Jones, spitting rhymes on the streets of Brooklyn. Biggie didn't just discover her, he helped her find her voice, her delivery, her confidence. He coached her through her verses, rewrote lines with her, and made sure her debut hardcore would change the game. Their connection wasn't just about music though. It was personal, raw, and painful. Kim has been open about the dark side of their relationship. She loved Biggie, but she also suffered because of him. There were moments of jealousy, cheating, and even abuse. She's talked about getting pregnant by him and choosing to have an abortion. That decision haunted her. And even when they weren't officially together, their bond stayed complicated. Despite all of that, Kim never stopped loving Biggie. She says he believed in her in a way no one else ever did. Right before he died, she remembers getting a phone call from him. It was short, but it stayed with her. He told her he loved her, and then he was gone. Biggie's demise shattered Kim. It wasn't just the loss of a lover or a mentor, it was the loss of the one person who truly understood her, the one who had protected her, coached her, and helped her climb to the top. After that, everything changed.
She always wanted to be like you. She always wanted to be you. And she would say, I'm going to take her spot.
As the years went by, people stopped talking about Lil Kim's bars and started focusing on her face. Every new photo sparked headlines and judgment. The public wanted to know why she looked so different, but few ever asked what she had gone through. Now, Kim is finally opening up about it, and it's deeper than plastic surgery. It's about survival. She shared that her transformation didn't happen overnight. It was the result of years of pain, pressure, and trauma. The music industry that once praised her for being bold and beautiful slowly made her feel like she wasn't enough. Every time someone made a comment about her nose, her skin, or her hair, it chipped away at her confidence. But the biggest wounds didn't come from fans or critics. They came from her personal life. Kim revealed that one of her exes was physically abusive and broke her nose during an argument. That injury led to her first surgery, not for beauty but to fix the damage. After that, she says she started seeing herself differently. She didn't feel pretty, she didn't feel accepted, and the more success she gained, the more she felt the pressure to look a certain way. Kim also admitted that fame magnified her insecurities. Being in the spotlight meant constantly being compared to others, constantly criticized, and no matter how successful she became, she still felt like that young girl from Brooklyn. Never good enough, always fighting to be seen. So yes, she had surgeries, but she says they weren't about vanity. They were about healing, about regaining control over a body and a face that had been judged, abused, and torn apart by other people's opinions. She was trying to feel safe in her skin again. Now, with the courage to speak up, Kim's saying what many in the industry never do. That fame doesn't protect you from pain. It often adds to it. And behind every altered face, there's usually a story no one wants to hear. But what do you think about Lil Kim's story? Was she failed by the people closest to her, or is there more to the story? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold truths from the world of hip-hop.